Okay, welcome to Annotating for Rhetoric Step 2, Rhetorical Appeals. Now, what you're going to be doing here is annotating the speech that we worked on earlier in the week for rhetorical appeals, so ethos, pathos, and logos. Remember, ethos is appeal to character, pathos is appeal to emotion, logos is appeal to logic, as well as any logical fallacies you may encounter. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that you have no work attached here. That's because we are going to be annotating on the same document that you turned in for step 1. So the first thing you have to do is locate that. So if you click back on Test Classroom, you go to Classwork, and you go to step 1, okay? You're going to want to open that document. You're going to want to hit Open with Cami. Okay, now the reason you can open with Cami again, if you'll notice, it's back to being assigned. Once you've turned this in, we're going to return it to you. And then going forward, you can add the new annotations to the same document. If you never turned it in, well, I'd suggest you go back to step 1. Or if for some reason it's marked as turned in, email either Mr. Crow or myself, and we will return it to you so you can do this next step. But it's very important that you open it in Cami, and where it says resubmit, you simply hit Save Now. Now, what that's going to do is make it easy to find in your drive. If you don't do that, it might be a little tough to find. You can then close out of this, and you can go back to this assignment, this step 2, and you're going to hit Add or Create. You're going to add, you're going to hit Google Drive, and it should be the first document. Okay. There you go. Now it's attached. I can click on it, I can open in Cami, and I continue on with this set of annotations. So as I said, we are looking for appeals to ethos, appeals to pathos, and appeals to logos. Wait until they load. Summaries I have done primarily on the left side. Okay, so identifying these appeals are going to happen kind of more on the right-hand side. To start out with, Sojourner Truth. There's a reason that she was asked to speak, and that is because she was a very strong presence, strong voice within the abolitionist, so the anti-slavery movement, and the women's rights movement. So she has what's called automatic ethos. So she is automatically seen as someone that you can trust to talk about women's rights, to talk about slavery. She was a slave, and therefore she has firsthand experience at that. She's a woman. She has firsthand experience at that. So we want to make sure that we identify the fact that Sojourner Truth, I'll put mark up here, and I'm going to pick a color for ethos here. I'm going to say, let's say blue for ethos. Sojourner Truth has what's called automatic ethos. I'm going to put a little note here, and I'm going to say automatic ethos because she had been a slave and was a well-known advocate or speaker on women's rights. So we can trust what she's saying. It's essentially, if automatic ethos is only given to people who are recognized experts on the topic. Okay, I don't need an apostrophe there. Okay, so now we're going to dig into the text. It starts with, well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of a kilter. Now, believe it or not, the term here, children, is an appeal to ethos as well, appeal to character. So I'm going to stick with my blue, and I'm going to highlight that. Now, if you think about it, she was born in 1797. This is 1851. She's 54 years old, which was very old for a former slave, someone who had multiple children and grandchildren who were sold off away from her, who lived a very hard life working the fields, and someone who has quite a bit of life experience behind her. So therefore, the term children here is also an appeal to path or to ethos. So you can just write ethos here. She is older with a great deal of life experience in what she is talking about. Okay, lack of rights. So, and she's not speaking to small children here. She's speaking to grown adults, women's rights convention. So grown men and women primarily who are there either because they support the cause or they want to shout down the people who do. Okay, there must be something out of kilter. So much racket, there must be something out of kilter. And racket, let's go to the dictionary and see if it has it. A type of bat or make a loud, unpleasant noise. And that's what it is here, okay? There's a lot of unpleasant, loud noises going on. This is logos, straight up logos. So I'm going to annotate this in a new color. We're going to say, we're going to go with purple, okay? Where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. It's not going to let me cross that one. Okay. And the way that this is logos is basically if there is a lot of noise, then something must be going on. That's a logical argument. Where there's noise, there's things happening. Okay? All right. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. That's also pretty logical. Okay, and again, I'm not going to cross over because then it causes this funny little thing. Be in a fix pretty soon. Let's go there. That's also logos. So women and African Americans are both fighting white men for, oh, I forgot to put logos at the beginning, but you need to make sure you do, for rights. They are going to win eventually, is what she's saying. There's so much pressure on them that between the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, they're going to have to give in at some point. They're going to be in pretty big trouble. So that is a logical argument. People are coming at them from all sides. Okay. Well, what's all this here talking about? Okay, that's what she says next. There's not really much of an appeal going on there. It's just a question. Okay, the next paragraph. That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages, lifted over ditches, and have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages over mud puddles or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Okay, so this is also a logos argument. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. Okay. Let's add a comment here. Logos. Okay, what she's doing here is she's stating their claim that women get special treatment. And she's saying that she is a woman and never gets special treatment. So that's called refuting their claim. Okay, she's using logic to prove them wrong. So personal experience, I'm a woman. I've never been lifted over a ditch. I've never been helped into a carriage, any of these things. Okay, now there are some pathos appeals in here as well when she starts talking about her family and some things like that. So pay close attention. You may also run across some that are both logos and pathos at the same time. Okay, you could make an argument for up here for children that children is also a pathos appeal because she's making them feel by calling them children, not small or inexperienced, but that she is about to teach them a lesson. She's like the grandmother who's about to share her wisdom. And so there becomes a kind of a warm feeling there. There are some others later on. So keep in mind that as you're annotating, you may end up with things that are multiple colors. Make sure you identify what it is and then explain what's happening there, how it is that appeal, whether it's ethos, pathos, or logos. Okay, so finish this up. And then when you are done, you've already attached it in Google Classroom, so all you have to do is hit turn in there. We will check it, return it to you, and then you're going to do the same step with the third one.